All right, Nick, let's talk about the LA Chargers. This is a team who all of a sudden looks very, very dangerous. They maybe have kind of been a little bit lackluster the last few seasons, haven't hit on their potential, because that's the thing here, Nick. They have a lot of potential, and they've made some moves this offseason, specifically through the draft, that I think really puts their potential through the roof, and I think it's going to have big-time playoff implications.
Miles, I agree with you 100%. The fact that one of these new additions is already off to such a strong start is a great sign for the Chargers. Credit to the report you dug up. But before we get into that news, Chargers fans, got an interesting question for you guys today to answer, as always, in the comment section below. Who is the greatest pass rusher in Chargers history? There's a lot of interesting names going back to the old days. Some guys maybe in the early 2000s, maybe some recent guys. Whoever it is, give us your favorite, the greatest Chargers pass rusher of all time in the comment section below. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear a word from our partner of today's video. And that, of course, is Neuro. Neuro's got a lot of great products that give you a fast and easy energy boost. We love to take their mints or the gum right before the show. It gives us the energy we need to produce this Chargers content. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of today's video to learn more about Neuro and, most importantly, to get access to our special discount code. All right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest out of LA?
Yeah, Nick, thinking about recent Chargers pass rushers, there's kind of been a crazy amount lately. You think of Bosa, Mack, Melvin Ingram. There's a lot of talent that's coming through. Oh, yeah, especially that's my favorite player back from the 90s. But, there's been a lot of guys.
Early 2000s, come on now.
But. Yeah. But lights out. But I think this Chargers team has a great plethora of pass rushers on it. But I don't think that they are as good at pass rusher as they're now at receiver, Nick. I think this is one of the top, if not the top, all the way fleshed out receiving units in the NFL right now, specifically with the addition of Quentin Johnson as that third receiver. You got Williams, you got Allen, you got Johnston. This receiving unit looks absolutely dangerous, Nick. And that is not just me saying it, because there's already reports about how good Johnson has been early in OTAs, and I'm going to read that aloud. Now, this is from over on Chargers Wire. The Chargers are hopeful that wide receiver Quentin Johnson can provide a boost for their offense, and early on, as the team has made their OTAs, Johnston has shown glimpses of being able to do that. One of the areas of improvement for Johnston coming into the NFL was his route running, which has looked extremely impressive so far, Nick. Johnson has been sharp in his routes, quick in his in and out of his breaks, including on a rep where he beat cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. Keenan Allen has heaped high praise on Johnson. Allen has been impressed with and said this. He said his athletic ability is what has really been impressive, and he says it is through the roof. So, Nick, we all knew that. Quentin Johnson, absolute beast at TCU. He probably kind of carried Max Duggan in this team a lot through the playoffs. He was a heck of a player, and we all knew that this guy was going to be something special, especially with that speed. And they say, okay, one thing he needs to work on coming into the NFL, route running. Well, it seems he's worked on that in spades, and that has really been one of the things that has impressed teammates and coaches alike about Johnson. So what I get from that, Nick, is he is already working on the things that he needed to work on before he came to OTAs, and it's really starting to pay off. But, Nick, enough about what I think about Johnson. I want to know what you think about Quentin Johnson and what he can add to this Chargers receiving unit.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I agree with you. The fact that he's already improved or already mitigated the risk of his game, the so-called weakness of his game, his route running with where he stands right now, is a great sign. And look, it doesn't hurt to have a guy like Keenan Allen in your position group, right? One of the great route running wide receivers of his era, not just currently, but over the past 10, 15 years. He is absolutely phenomenal. Learning from a guy like Allen already is paying dividends for Johnson, and credit on Johnson putting in the work and time to improve that part of his game. But I want to focus on not just what his teammates are saying in terms of his offensive teammates, or what you and I are saying, right? We have our opinions, but how about his adversaries, currently his adversaries on the defensive side of the ball? Because, one of the things people don't understand is before the regular season starts, and this is the way when I played in college, I'm sure it's very similar in the NFL, there's a very, I'll say, healthy rivalry is probably the nice way of putting it, but it is cutthroat competition between the offense and the defense, whether it's through mini camps, practice, training camp. It is, back at brutal battles. You wouldn't think it's part of the same team. And that's just the way it works. And it'll be very rare that you'll have a guy on offense say something nice about a guy on defense and vice versa, especially if that guy's good, because these guys are really proud players. That's why I think it was really telling to me that Los Angeles all-world safety, Charger safety, Derwin James had this to say about Quentin Johnson. He just used 3 words. He said, he's that guy. Look, that doesn't happen. In these competitive environments, you won't find defensive guys saying really nice things about offensive rookies. It's just not how it works. Veterans rarely say anything nice about rookies, especially if they're on the opposite side of the ball. The fact that Derwin James, one of the great defensive players in football, and certainly one of the Chargers' best defensive players, has come out and said how impressed he is and a lot of good things about Johnson is a great sign that Johnson is as good, if not better, than advertised. And just one final point here, Mize. They need him to be that way. Because if you look at the Chargers offense last year, I pull this up every time we talk about the Chargers offense, but it just blows my mind. In terms of the average depth of target, in terms of qualifying passers, this is from PFF, the Chargers finished 20th out of 22 qualifying quarterbacks in terms of average depth of target, which means how far they were throwing the football down the field past the line of scrimmage. 20th. Third to last. That makes absolutely no sense. We have Justin Herbert. That's an indictment, of course, on the offensive coordinator. That's why Kellen Moore is here. But look, they did need an additional big play offensive weapon. I like some of their other guys, but it's clear Palmer wasn't the guy, the number 3 target. I think a guy like Johnson right away, we saw it at TCU all the time, adds a dynamic, explosive, big play element to this offense. And it's going to be a track meet, whoever tries to keep up with this Chargers team. They're going to be scary good and much more explosive in 2023. All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big-time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Mize. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.